We're moving backwards fast. Immigration policy is destroying the lives of families, not criminals. Women's rights are becoming less and less every day. Queer and trans lives are increasingly being erased, and gender-based violence is on the rise.
Everybody's been hating on Jeff Bezos' wedding with Lauren Sanchez. The Italian people are not happy, society hates it, and now celebrities are even turning on the couple. Charlize Theron decided to make a moment of her speech at a charity event to call out the couple and to say that they suck. She said, "I think we might be the only people who did not get an invite to the Bezos wedding," stating, "But that's okay because they suck and we're cool." At one point, she said, "Yeah, F them," while on stage.
Charlize Theron's recent comments about Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's extravagant wedding have ignited a firestorm of reactions, particularly from Bezos himself. During her speech at the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project's block party, Theron humorously remarked, "I think we might be the only people who did not get an invite to the Bezos wedding. But that's okay because they suck and we're cool." This quip, while intended as a lighthearted jab, has reportedly left Bezos livid, leading to speculation about potential repercussions for Theron in Hollywood. The wedding, held in Venice and estimated to cost around $50 million, was attended by numerous A-list celebrities. But it also drew significant criticism and protests from locals concerned about the impact of such opulence on the city and its residents. Theron's comments were not just a critique of the couple's lavish lifestyle. They also highlighted broader social issues, including immigration policies and gender-based violence, which she emphasized during her speech.
I see what you did.
In the wake of Theron's remarks, sources suggest that Bezos is considering banning her from any future events related to his businesses, including any Amazon Prime projects, Blue Origin campaigns, and other high-profile gatherings. This potential ban reflects the tension between the billionaire couple and Theron, who has been outspoken about social justice issues. The idea of a Hollywood blacklist, even if informal, raises questions about the power dynamics in the entertainment industry, particularly when it comes to relationships with influential figures like Bezos. The backlash against Theron's comments has been mixed. While some have praised her for speaking out against the excesses of the wealthy elite, others worry about the potential fallout for her career. The entertainment industry is often characterized by its interconnectedness, where relationships can significantly impact opportunities. If Bezos follows through on his rumored intentions, it could limit Theron's access to certain events and collaborations, potentially affecting her standing in Hollywood. Moreover, the public's reaction to the wedding itself has been polarized. While many celebrities rallied around Bezos and Sanchez, others, including Katie Couric and Rosie O'Donnell, have criticized the couple's choices, suggesting that the backlash against the wedding may reflect a broader discontent with wealth inequality and the lifestyles of the ultra-rich. As for Theron, her future in Hollywood may hinge on how she navigates this situation. If Bezos does attempt to exert influence over her career, it could lead to a significant shift in her public persona and professional opportunities. However, Theron has a history of resilience and advocacy, which may allow her to pivot and continue her work in social justice and film, regardless of the challenges posed by powerful figures like Bezos. The wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez has wrapped up, but the aftermath is already generating significant discussion. The couple, in a display of opulence, rented out the entire city of Venice for their grand celebration. However, rather than a storybook conclusion, they encountered a stark reality, a surge of protests from locals who were far from pleased about the billionaire's $55 million wedding. As high-profile guests like Kim Kardashian, Oprah Winfrey, and Leonardo DiCaprio arrived, they were greeted not with applause but with chants from demonstrators calling for justice and accountability. This event was labeled the Royal Wedding of the US. But unlike traditional royal weddings that typically bring a nation together in happiness, this one sparked outrage and division. The celebrations lasted 3 days and included a series of extravagant events, such as a masquerade ball and a foam party aboard Bezos' $500 million super yacht. It felt more like a cinematic spectacle than a wedding, and yet, amid the glitz and glamour, the couple seemed oblivious to the turmoil surrounding them. Picture being on that yacht, enveloped in luxury while protesters rallied against your very existence. Jeff and Lauren didn't just bask in their wealth. They thrived in the limelight, using this wedding as an opportunity to flaunt their status. But as the world observed, a pressing question arose. Can money genuinely buy happiness, or is it merely a facade? The wedding invitation, which was leaked to the press, was surprisingly simplistic for a couple of their stature. Its design was basic, almost childlike, and it included a request for no gifts, because, naturally, what could they possibly want? Instead, they encouraged guests to contribute to various charities, a gesture that felt more like a public relations tactic than sincere philanthropy. In the aftermath of their lavish celebration, the residents of Venice are left to contend with the disruption caused by the event. With around 200 guests anticipated, the impact on the community was significant. While the mayor of Venice expressed support for the wedding, citing potential economic advantages, many locals remained skeptical. They viewed their city as having been transformed into a playground for the ultra-wealthy and were determined to voice their dissent. Protests erupted throughout the city, with demonstrators unfurling banners that read "No space for Bezos" from iconic sites like the Rialto Bridge. Activists seized this high-profile occasion to express their frustrations regarding over-tourism and the environmental damage that accompanies it. While the city promoted the wedding as a boon for local tourism, many residents felt their home was being exploited for the amusement of the affluent. As the dust settles over the canals, the stage has been set for a weekend of excess, but the undercurrent of dissent remains palpable. The celebrations may have ended, but the voices of the people have been heard loud and clear. Amidst the laughter and festivities, the lingering question remains: can a wedding that costs more than the GDP of some countries truly bring joy, or is it simply a distraction from the urgent issues at hand? As the wedding celebrations of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez draw to a close, the protests in Venice have made a significant impact. Activist groups, notably Extinction Rebellion, took to the streets, chanting slogans like "No space for Bezos." Their message was unmistakable. They were not merely opposing a wedding. They were confronting the very concept of wealth inequality and the exploitation of their cherished city. The atmosphere was charged, with locals hanging banners from bell towers to express their discontent with the billionaire's presence. One banner, boldly marked with a red X over the name Jeff Bezos, served as a stark reminder that not everyone was in favor of this union. Activists even threatened to fill the canals with inflatable crocodiles to obstruct celebrity guests from reaching the wedding venue. This creative form of protest highlighted the desperation of the locals and underscored their frustration with the city being transformed into a playground for the affluent. Meanwhile, celebrity guests, including the Kardashian family and other A-listers, arrived in large numbers, seemingly unfazed by the turmoil outside. They were there to indulge in the lavish festivities, but the glaring contrast between their glamorous experience and the struggles of the locals was impossible to overlook. As they disembarked from their water taxis, one couldn't help but wonder if they were aware of the protests occurring just a short distance away. Jeff and Lauren, on the other hand, seemed to exist in their own world, basking in the sun and the celebrations aboard their yacht. They appeared completely disconnected from the reality surrounding them, enjoying their extravagant event while the world looked on in disbelief. The couple's apparent indifference to the protests only intensified the locals' frustration over the disruption caused by the wedding. Adding to the tension, it was revealed that despite the grandeur of the occasion, Jeff and Lauren might not even be legally married by the end of the weekend. A senior official from Venice Town Hall indicated that unless they held a separate legal ceremony, their union would not be recognized under Italian law. Imagine spending $55 million on a wedding and not even being legally married. This twist added another layer of absurdity to an already outrageous event. As the protests intensified, local authorities were compelled to implement stricter security measures, restricting pedestrian and water traffic in certain areas. The mayor, while supportive of the wedding, faced backlash from residents who felt their concerns were being overlooked. The tension between the couple's celebration and the community's outrage reached a critical point, making it clear that this wedding had evolved into a symbol of the widening gap between the ultra-wealthy and everyday citizens. With the world watching, the lingering question is, did the protests succeed in amplifying their voices, or did the wedding proceed as planned, a lavish exhibition of wealth in a city grappling with its identity? As the celebrations came to an end, it was evident that the repercussions of this event would extend far beyond the glitz and glamour, leaving Venetians to confront the ongoing challenges of over-tourism and the preservation of their historic city. As the wedding festivities of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez come to an end, the atmosphere in Venice remains charged with tension. The couple's lavish plans face significant disruption due to protests that challenge the extravagance surrounding their event. Activists successfully transformed the wedding into a symbol of the chaos and inequality that permeate society, compelling the couple to adjust their plans amid rising local discontent. The celebrations, which unfolded over several days, attracted a star-studded guest list, including prominent figures like Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, and the Kardashian family. However, the event was not without its controversies. Over 1,000 protesters marched through the streets, wielding banners that proclaimed, "No space for Bezos," and "If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax." This stark contrast between luxury and local unrest underscored the widening gap between the ultra-wealthy and everyday citizens. The wedding was estimated to generate around $1.1 billion in economic value for Venice, primarily through global media exposure, which accounted for approximately 90% of that figure. The couple's choice of the historic Arsenal as their venue and their engagement of local artisans for wedding services were presented as efforts to promote sustainable tourism. However, many locals felt that the event exploited their city, with the mayor attempting to balance the economic benefits against the concerns of residents. In an unexpected twist, the ceremony featured a unique touch. Lauren Sanchez donned a stunning high-neck dress by Dolce & Gabbana, inspired by Sophia Loren's iconic gown from the film Houseboat. The couple exchanged vows on the small island of San Giorgio, accompanied by a performance from Matteo Bocelli, son of the renowned tenor Andrea Bocelli. While the event was undeniably lavish, it lacked the legal binding that many would expect, leading to speculation about the couple's intentions and public image. As the newlyweds departed Venice, they were seen smiling and waving from a boat, embodying the glamour of their celebration. However, the reality of the protests and the ongoing discussions about wealth and privilege lingered in the air. While Jeff and Lauren celebrated their union, the people of Venice continued to voice their concerns, reminding everyone that the wedding was not merely a spectacle but a catalyst for broader conversations about social justice and economic disparity. Ultimately, the wedding served as a stark reminder of the divide between the ultra-wealthy and the average citizen. As the festivities concluded, observers were left to contemplate the implications of such wealth and the responsibilities that accompany it. This extravagant affair may have been a grand celebration, but it also highlighted the growing discontent among those who feel marginalized. In a world where billionaires can commandeer entire cities for their celebrations, the question remains, what does this mean for the rest of us? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe while you're there. I'll see you in the next one.